Abshen, my apologies. I have to take you guys back to the White House so that this whole video can make sense. Let's listen to this.
President, thank you for welcoming us to the White House. I would say we have a rural safety problem. I don't think anyone wants to candy coat that. And it requires a lot of effort to get on top of it. It's going to require more policing resources. It's going to require a different strategy to be able to deal with it. But certainly the majority of South Africa's commercial and smallholder farmers really do want to stay in South Africa and make it work. And I've just come from the largest agricultural show in the Southern Hemisphere with organized agriculture and farmers, and the majority of them want to stay. But they too there have a memorial to those who died as a result of farm attacks. And as the Minister of Agriculture, it is something that I'm particularly exercised with my colleagues at police and my colleagues in the justice cluster to start making farm attacks and stock theft a priority crime. And it affects all farmers in South Africa, particularly stock theft. It has a disproportionate effect on smallholder black farmers. I also want to just say this, that the two individuals that are in that video that you've seen are both leaders of opposition minority parties in South Africa. Mkhonto Wesizwe under Mr. Zuma and the economic freedom fighters under Mr. Malema. Now the reason that my party, the Democratic Alliance, which has been an opposition party for over 30 years, chose to join hands with Mr. Ramaphosa's party was precisely to keep those people out of power. We cannot have those people sitting in the union buildings making decisions. And that is why after 30 years of us exchanging barbs across the floor in Parliament and trying to get one over on each other, we've decided to join hands precisely to keep that lot out of government. Because the day they get in to the doors of the union buildings in South Africa or control of our Parliament, that's what you're going to see. And that is why this government, working together, needs the support of our allies around the world so that we can strengthen our hand, grow our economy, and shut the door forever on that rabble getting through the doors of the union buildings, because then South Africa's future would be.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy. Peace and Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, Kagiso Hlongwane, Wosis in Jiva Sono. And we're back at it again with another one. I'm sorry, I had to take you back so that when we say this is what John Steenhuisen said in the Oval House, in the White House, this is exactly what he said. So people were angry for him saying that in South Africa, there is no genocide. There is a problem with rural safety, and he said we have to get into that. But what they are trying to do is that as the Minister of Agriculture, he's looking into that with his counterparts, the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Correctional Service. They are looking into it. And also he's saying to make those who thought he was there to attack Cyril Ramaphosa and Abu Julius Malema and all of that, to satisfy them, he then says, listen, Julius Malema and that other political party that you are looking at is the Economic Freedom Fighters and the MK political party of Jacob Zuma, of Mr. Zuma. They are not in power. They are not in government. People confuse this all the time when we tell them that both Zuma and both Julius, they are not in government. They are in parliament. There's a difference between that. So they can influence how policies are made and everything, but they are not in power. They are not in government. They are not a minister of any department, if you know what I'm saying. So you are saying that President Trump, we're trying to get these people out of power. We're trying to keep them away from power. That's why we are married to the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa. Now comes this new podcast. I saw it. Some people spoke about it, and I'm like, hey man, what is this? I just read headlines. I never actually listened to it. I think it's a News 24 podcast. They call it On the Record. And John Steenhuisen, after going through what he has went through there in the in the Democratic Alliance, he comes and decides to sing, tells his story. I think it is a brave thing for him to say. But remember, they only tell their story once they fall down. All of these politicians, I don't care what political party they come from, they only tell their story after falling down. There's no one who's still up there and tells the truth. Nobody. They protect their political parties. They defend it by all means up until they fall down. Now that he has fallen down, listen to what he is saying. Just listen to this.
My other worry as well is that there is a grouping that wants to bend the knee continuously to appease the Afrimaga crew. And I don't think that's the right way to grow votes in the party. Firstly, let's be clear, there are a large number of votes that are just not available to the DA. There's the 30% of white voters in the country that voted no in the referendum. There's the people who left the National Party because they found P.W. Botha too liberal. There are people who don't believe that a black government or a government that's made up with black people in it can govern competently or run anything. And for those people, those votes are not available to us. And if you try and go after those votes, you're going to send a signal to black, colored, and Indian South Africans that you're not interested in theirs. You're more interested in going after and appeasing the right wing. Also, these are not people who share our values. They are nationalists. They are tribalists. They are in some instances racists. And you don't win the political argument and you don't take your party forward by appeasing those people. They don't share your values and principles. They're not on the same wicket as you politically. And if you keep trying to dance to their tune, eventually the signal you send out to other people is that, oh, well, these guys are not really serious about us, and they're just interested in going after these conservative white voters. And so
let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasing the consecutive white, what do we call them? The people who own the economy of South Africa. Even Cyril Ramaphosa could not do that. I want to remind you guys that when Cyril Ramaphosa took power in the South African government, he was sold as the savior that was coming to come and do better than Jacob Zuma. They sold it to us. Say, Jacob Zuma is the worst thing that ever happened, and Cyril Ramaphosa is coming to save the economy because, the investors, they've got trust and reality in him. If you bring the EFF and the MK into power with the ANC, the rand will suffer. But if you bring the DA with the ANC in it, and you bring these other small parties, as long as the EFF and the MK is not involved, South Africa will do well. And nothing was further from the truth. Angazi uyangithola manje or uzongithola later. They turned their back on Cyril Ramaphosa, a project that they've been building for decades. For decades, for more than 4 decades, that they've been building this man, and they turned their back against him. They did not create jobs. They are closing down. Pick and Pay is retrenching 40,000 workers. I mean, so many workers, and everything is going down the drain. The rand is weaker. The basket requires more rand. All of those things. They turn their back. So, John Steenhuisen knows that you cannot please these people. And once you try to chase after them, you chase the colored and the black vote away. That is the truth. That is what John Steenhuisen is saying. It's not me. He was the president of the Democratic Alliance. But remember, he is only saying this because now he is out of power. When they were using him, Abu Helen Zil, they were using him to kick out Mmusi Maimane. He was very happy with that. But I must give him some credit. He took the DA from point A to point B. He really took the DA somewhere. He took them somewhere from
not having any ministerial offices, going to having, I think, 4 ministers on 4 deputies and things like that. They really worked. He really took them somewhere. Even though we can say it was Helen Zilla's work, because Helen Zilla was telling us she could not sleep trying to negotiate with Ufikile Mbalula up until the last minute. Up until that break that Floyd Shivambo made them have that slight break so that they can come, and that's when the deal was closed between the ANC and the DA. So he is only singing today because, number one, he's tired of being a nationalist, what we call a tribalist, and also a racist. He's tired of doing those things. Deep down in his heart, John Steenhuisen is a good guy. Most white people, even when they fall from glory, they still don't turn their back against those people for principle, humanity principle. Unfortunately, John Steenhuisen rubbed his shoulders too much with the colors and black, and Ubuntu rubbed on to him. So now he's saying there's no need chasing that white vote because you're going to chase away the colored and black vote. But again, I repeat, he's only saying it because he has fallen down. He can only sing today because he has fallen down. But the clip that made everything very so sweet is this clip that I'm going to play for you guys now.
South Africa, not by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm not sure if people expected me, in the midst of an attempt to try and repair relations with the United States, to attack my own president in front of the president of another country on something that wasn't true. And I think what had happened is there'd been so much investment in creating that narrative. I mean, Trump's narrative didn't come from nowhere. It came from South African sources that were telling him there's a white genocide, telling him that there's persecution, telling him that these people were being murdered and put into mass graves, etc. That came from South Africa. And here was somebody in the White House now, who also happened to be white, saying, but sorry, this is just not true. Julius Malema is not in government. He doesn't have any authority. This genocide is not happening. And I was very honest there. I said, what we have is a rural safety problem where people are being killed in rural areas, and brutally so. But the problem is that if you don't diagnose the problem correctly, you'll never get the remedy for it. You'll never get the solution for it. And
I'm sorry. I'm enjoying this too much, man. You bunch of racist people. Racism does not pay, guys. Racism does not pay. They expected him, because he was a white minister of agriculture, to lie at the White House. They expected him to attack his own president, and he didn't. He just said the truth. There's no genocide that is happening to farmers in South Africa, and they hated him for that. They hate him for that. And this is why the fall from glory came. They've got Louis now. Louis will try and keep them happy. Some people have warned us against Louis. We are not from the Western Cape. We don't know that guy very well. We really don't know him very well. We didn't even know he was the mayor of Cape Town. We don't care. We don't care what is going on there. But people have warned us that he's the smiling assassin. You know, he's a Gedlihlekisa of the DA. He will kill you smiling because he looks innocent. So, I don't know. John Steenhuisen, no, man. No. He's working his way out of the DA. I won't be surprised that the ANC takes him in. I will not be surprised. That will be the biggest thing ever. Let me just say it right here. If he leaves the DA for the ANC, that will be a shocker. That will be ANC. Here's your opportunity. King said so is putting it out there. Don't say King never said so. King said so is putting it out there. The ANC, if ever there was a time for you to steal one DA member, make an offer to John Steenhuisen that he cannot deny, that he cannot reject. Make an offer to him now. He's out. He knows his political career is dead in the DA. From here on downwards, there's nothing that can happen in the DA for him. So I'm suggesting, if you want to win a tiny little, pingy little 1% nyana, just 1%, get John Steenhuisen in the DA, in the ANC, excuse me, in the ANC. But I wanted, let me close with this. The character assassination of not only the EFF, but specifically the CIC has been going on for many years in South Africa. People don't question the headlines on media. They just take it as it is and they consume that lie and they run with it. When you say EFF, they say VBS. When they say Julius Malema, they say, they just know that these people are corrupt. They want to kill the poor. They run with that narrative that has been repeated countless time on media, and they believe it. So I kind of understood why Julius will say, don't lie with my name and take some people to court. Yes, he has lost some court cases like the one with Kenny, and now he has won the one of Ngizwe. But I understand that once, like, your name is all you have. If people character assassinate your name, there's nothing that you can build on. Your name is all you have. There's nothing else. Defend your name with honor. Let people respect your name, your word. When you say yes, let it be a yes. When you say no, let it be a no. And don't let the media paint you as a yes man when you are a no person, if you guys understand what I'm saying. So I'm happy that John Steenhuisen has come out, said the things that he's saying. But again, I'm telling you, it's only because he's down. It's only because he can see the end of his political career. He has done well. Even when he was the leader of the DA, he was in trouble with credit cards and all of those things. Something that me and you don't understand. We thought that these MPs don't buy food with their own money. But he used the DA credit card to buy Uber Eats and he says he was in financial stress, just like 80% of South African. I'm like, no, you are nowhere close to the 80% of South Africans. You cannot want to compare yourself with us. No, definitely not. Never. Never. John, come on, don't do that. Go in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think. I'm fascinated by this, man. I'm fascinated. But I'm saying, if you want to play politics, ANC, go get John Steenhuisen. Number one, he's loyal to Cyril Ramaphosa. I know Cyril will not be there much longer. He can play that long game with Fikile and whoever. But I'm telling you, go get him. The ANC people will accept him because the ANC people always worship the white man. So go get John Steenhuisen. Go do it now before it's too late. Don't want to hear any stories. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Please continue donating to Mapenseni Primary School as we are building the toilets. It's almost July. We are heading to the 30th of June. Let us resolve that one first, and then we'll get to Mapenseni Primary School. But make sure you send your 200 Rand, 100 Rand, 50 Rand, 30 Rand, whatever it is that you can send to the business account of Paseta. We will really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's meet on the comment section.